Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in to the virtual Talladega Superspeedway. Welcome to another week of NSRA Sunday Select Series racing. Tonight is race number 3 of this season, and we are gearing up to go 80 laps at Talladega Superspeedway for yet another stop, our second stop of the season at Talladega Superspeedway. And these guys are ramped up and ready to go. Pretty big field in here as we run right now, looking at just about 30 cars that will take the green flag here in just a little bit. They are in practice currently. They're going to run qualifying laps here in just a moment, and we will give you guys a chance to see the qualifying times flash across your screen. As these guys get ready to go, they're geared up. We are all ready. I hope you guys are all ready too. Thank you for coming out. My name is Dawson Wise. Tonight, yet again, on the Ghost Racing Network. If you tuned in for Jimmy Crow's race a little bit ago, what a race that was. But now it's time to hop back into the Xfinity cars. As NSRA, its third race in a row with the Xfinity Series machines. As these guys are definitely rearing to go tonight once again. As we look for potentially a third different winner. 2 different winners in our first 2 races. The season opener won by a rookie, DJ Thomas, in his first NSRA start. Second race last week, won by a returning Rick Seabrands, who looks to go back-to-back this week at Talladega. DJ looking to repeat. Everybody else looking to spoil him. And we are going to get cars on track for qualifying. We'll let them run. We'll do some format things for you here very quickly. We'll first get your race information. NSRA Sunday Select Series here from Talladega Superspeedway. Tonight's the Wow Video Tours 225, not the Pit Stall 200. That was last weekend, last Sunday evening. Tonight, the Wow Video Tours 225, sponsored by Sean Stevens. So thanks to Sean for sponsoring the race. It's going to be a good one. I cannot wait. 50% fuel for these guys. It's a short run. As I have learned running NSRA, it is a short run. It is only going to be about 15, 16 laps, maybe 17 if you stretch. 2 fast repairs for these guys, and 2 attempts at a green white checkered should we need them around this 2.66 mile oval that you know well, and so do I. Talladega Superspeedway, the location of our race this evening. As guys are on track running their qualifying laps. It is race number 3. We'll talk to you about points briefly here as we go through tonight's race. We will get an idea of what the points are looking like coming into tonight's event. And you're going to get the idea here very quickly that it is a lot of Limitless at the top of the point standings, as they have been by far the team to beat. Here on Sunday nights, they look to go back to victory lane once again tonight after DJ Thomas joined Limitless and got his first win in the season opener. So at the top of the point standings tonight, Mr. Cody Nagels, who is 41 points above what is the playoff cut line as of right now. You may be saying, well, it may be a little early to think about playoffs, but this is where you start your season. This is where you get all your momentum. Everything really comes to pass here pretty quickly. If you have a good few first weeks of the season, you're going to have a good year. And certainly Cody Nagels is starting off in the right direction. Michael Triscaro, the PGR Series owner, he's second in points. How about the start to the season for another rookie in Triscaro to Sunday nights? See if he can continue his momentum. Larry Dickerson is third in points, 2 points behind Triscaro. 1 point behind Larry Dickerson is DJ Thomas, our Daytona winner, our Talladega winner from a couple of weeks ago. Brian Kibler is 5th in points. Richard Sanchez is 6th in points. These are all separated by single digits. Very, very close margins. Here at the top of the point standings, Robert Jordan, another Limitless car, is in 7th in the points standings as we run right now, with Dusty Burkhardt, Alex Giffen, Sean Stevens, all on his tail. And then myself, I'm in the top 10 in points right now. Normally I would be on the racetrack tonight filling in for Austin, but I am doing pretty well in points. So good for me, I guess. David Overstreet is behind me, with Bubba Winningham behind him, and that's where it starts to get really interesting. About 5 points separate pretty much everyone on the cut line, including Rick Seabrands, Vicente Guerrero, as well as Jimmy Reynolds, Harold Rothery, John Guerra, Lynn McNeese, and Dean Wilkinson. So a very tight points battle, and it's going to be a good one here tonight at Talladega as we continue to formulate the season. We continue to figure out how this season is going to run. Qualifying is about halfway over. You see the time starting to flash on the left side of your screen. There is Charles Johnson. What a lap out of the 9 as Dean Wilkinson goes to second on the chart. And there's where you find the 2 Limitless teammates, Cody Nagels and Michael Triscaro, not far off that pole lap. But for now, Charles Johnson What a great lap for the 9 machine. A little bit further back, Jorge Rincon is in this field tonight. Russ Hancock as well. We do have Jimmy Reynolds in the 26. He's actually listed as the 17 in the point standing, so it threw me off for a second. I thought it was Hunter Reynolds. It is not. It's Jimmy. And then all your normal players are a little bit further back. Great lap by Les Levy in the 62. So we wait for guys to run their qualifying laps. 80 laps on tap. Several pit stops involved in this one if we get down to it. We'll see if we need those pit stops a little bit later on in the evening. It's going to be a very short run. Like I said, it's going to be about a 3-stop race, maybe more than that, depending on how long these guys can make it. It might be 4. So if we go green, be ready. This is going to get to be a fun one, I think, a little bit later on in the night. As laps continue to come in here as we get close to the end of qualifying, we're getting close to wrapping it up. Going to see if we can get an idea of how much time we got left, but we cannot. So we will keep it here for now. I keep these times on the screen for you. As these guys get ready to get on the grid, it sounds like everybody is about done. It's about that time, I think, to get on the grid for NSRA Sunday Select Racing. It's another Sunday night. It's a great night for racing. It was a great appetizer earlier in the Jimmy Crow race. If you got to tune into that, Kenny McCullough with a huge win in that one. But now it is time to go on Sunday night, and drivers are getting on the grid. There's your pole sitter, Mr. Charles Johnson in the 9, and with that, we will go into your starting grid for this evening's race number 3 of the NSRA Sunday Select Series. And here we go. Charles Johnson is on the pole, the time of 53.939. Dean Wilkinson to his outside in the 55 machine, about 100th off of that lap. Cody Nagels is the first limitless car on the grid tonight. He'll roll from position number 3 with Les Levy of Checkered Flag Motorsports to his outside. Vicente Guerrero, another limitless car, will roll from 5th with the third of the limitless cars tonight. Michael Triscaro rolling from position number 6. Sean Stevens, the sponsor of tonight's race, rolls from 7th with Dana Osborne to his outside in the 8 machine. Row number 5 and rounding out your top 10 are Robert Jordan of Limitless and Robert Morrison in the 43. Going a little further back, there's Jimmy Reynolds in 11th position tonight to his outside. Mr. John Guerra in the 88. David Overstreet of Checkered Flag will roll from 13th with Donald Sadusky to his outside. Alex Giffen will roll from 15th tonight with Russ Hancock in 16th. There's DJ Thomas, the 5th and final limitless entry in the field tonight. He'll roll from 17th in the 20 to his outside. Dusty Burkhart in the 69. Rounding out your top 20, Jorge Rincon and Stephen McComas. Going a little further back, Rick Seabrand's last week's winner rolls from position number 21. Mark Mann in the 04 rolling from 22nd. Chad French will roll from 23rd this evening with Larry Dickerson to his outside, looking for another great points day. Harold Rothery is going to start from 25th. Richard Sanchez to his outside. Andrew Schroeder rolls from 27th with Len McNeese in 28th. Rounding out your field on row number 15, Adam Kilday and Bubba Whittingham. So that's the 30 drivers that are going to contest tonight's race. And it's a good field. It's a great NSRA field. 30 cars ready to go. We're all on the grid. We're going to get a look at some of those guys here a little bit as we go along the way tonight. We're rolling off the grid at Talladega as these guys get ready to roll. Like I said, what a night for racing it is. We want to thank you for coming out. If you are out here tonight, let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know who you're supporting. The drivers love to see it. I love to see it. So get in the chat. Let them know you're supporting them. Let them know you're hanging out with us tonight, watching NSRA Sunday Select Series Racing. With half a lap left to go until green, Charles Johnson, Dean Wilkinson go top of the charts. Keep Cody off the pole. It's a couple of weeks straight of poles for Cody Nagels. He's off the streak this week, though. So we'll see what these top two can do as we get going. We'll have to readjust. These guys will, at least the guys that have run trucks recently, to running these cars. It is a bit of an adjustment to getting back into these cars. Just with the way the side draft works, the way you have to push is obviously very different in these cars. So you have to basically relearn how to race these cars when you go out of the trucks, which have such a radically different draft package now. So we'll see what they can do. As the pace car will guide the field off turn number 4, and then it will leave the field in the hands of Charles Johnson in that bright blue and teal number 9 machine. And for the first time, we will get underway for NSRA Sunday Select Series Racing race number 3 of this brand new season at Talladega Superspeedway. Fielding the trial for the first time, looking for that green flag. And away we go into the restart zone. Charles Johnson rolling, crawling into the restart zone. It's such a long wait when you're rearing to go. And here we go. Green flag is in the air. NSRA race number 3 from Talladega is underway. It's a pretty good start for the outside lane. Dean Wilkinson's going to poke his nose out front just for the time being, but Charles Johnson has the help on the bottom lane in the form of the limitless teammates of Nagels and Guerrero. Triscaro trying to get to the back of Les Levy up top, get that top line rolling just a little bit. Some guys diving off to the bottom. That's going to be Alex Giffen and Rick Seabrand's last week's winner going to the back. DJ Thomas is coming forward a little further back in that pink Adidas machine. Expect him to be on the move early, trying to get up to his teammates. Another car dropping out of line there on the outside of the racetrack. It's going to be Robert Morrison in the 43. And now another going to the back. Les Levy going to go bide his time in the back and ride. Well, maybe not. Because unfortunately for him, he's got some help coming. Charles Johnson, he's loving this. He's going to lead lap number 1 at the line. 3 wide a little further back with Levy, Sadusky, Stevens, Guerra. Dana Osborne's up in the picture now. And for the lead for the first time, here comes Michael Triscaro in the 34. The black and white True Value IROC style paint scheme. Several guys in the field have that look on their car tonight. We'll keep an eye out for those IROC paints. You see some of them as they flash by here. And Triscaro might go all the way to the lead right here. He's going to be awfully close. Nope, going to stay up in front of Dana Osborne. The IROC scheme's a new touch the last couple of weeks. More and more seems like load off the trailer every week. Triscaro, Nagels, Guerrero all have one. Robert Jordan, I think, has one a little further back in the 74. He does. And then David Overstreet, our league owner, has one as well. That's a bright, loud pink on that number 68 entry. You can see him rocking that IROC style paint up front. Charles Johnson, Michael Triscaro dueling for the race lead. No line has really been able to do a lot yet. 3 laps in, and a caution is out on the speedway. And it is going to involve Chad French and several others here. So we get an idea as Michael Triscaro leads the field under our first caution flag of the night. And we'll get an idea of what brought out that first caution flag of the night. I think it's a little bit further up than that. There we go. Looking at Andrew Schroeder. Sean Stevens, this is right at the back of the pack. We could see, and oh boy, some net code. Looked like between some cars. Oh boy, this is a pretty sizable incident. Some guys a little further back are getting involved. 94 Chad French is involved. Several other cars. We're going to try to get another look at this here. And they were 3 wide, right back around here by Guerra and Schroeder. Try to get a different angle. Stevens as well. Looks like Stevens is not really drifting up, kind of holding his line. Schroeder loses track of where the 27 car is, bounces off of him, collects the 88 of John Guerra. They collect the 74 of Robert Jordan. Big hit to the outside wall for Andrew Schroeder. Big hit to the outside wall coming for John Guerra as well. Sean Stevens actually goes for a slide a little further up. There's the 94 of Chad French. What a save by Sean Stevens to keep that one straight. Chad French involved a little further back. Len McNeese on the brakes, trying to get past it. There's Larry Dickerson. He's involved as well. He's got some considerable front end damage on that 25 machine. And Alex Giffen scrambles out of the way as well. So our first caution of the night, pit stops. Perfect timing, as the leaders are on pit road for the first time this evening. Going to be Michael Triscaro leading them all down into their pit boxes for an early yellow flag pit stop. So the strategy going to change just a tad, as guys get about 5 laps under their belts, and then they have to come to pit road, change up their pit numbers just a little. Michael Triscaro wins the race off of pit road, so he'll remain the race leader under our first caution of the evening here. What a good couple weeks it's been for Michael Triscaro. Coming over to NSRA for the first time, a rookie this season, in Sunday Select, and he's had a few great runs, shown some great speed. We'll see if he can have a good run tonight. So he's going to pass a few of the lap cars that are still on the racetrack, opted not to pit. One car that opted not to pit as well is Robert Morrison in the 43, so he's actually going to cycle forward to the race lead here very early on, as lap 5 is on the board here at Talladega Superspeedway. NSRA Sunday Select has been very good this season so far. Some great racing that I'm sure you've seen the last couple of weeks with Austin here on Ghost Racing Network. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of hard racing. A lot of clean racing as well. It's one of the staples of NSRA Sunday Select is that we can go a long time without a caution if we so choose. A little bit surprising tonight to have the early yellow. We'll see if we get into a green flag run here, but that's been the story the first 2 weeks, has been multiple green flag pit cycles. Who can separate themselves on a cycle of green flag pit stops? So we'll see who can do so tonight, if we do get to those green flag pit stops. As the field gets ready to rack back up here, we're going to go back to green flag racing on lap number 7 of 80. So long ways to go here tonight. No stage breaks, straight green flag racing. So if we get into a long run, as we saw last week, we can go a lot of the race without a caution. It turns into, well, we may not get another caution the rest of the race. You may just have to nail your green flag pit stops and hope you have good execution. One mistake in a long green flag run like that, and your night could end. At least your hopes that the win could end. And so we will see how it goes. Robert Morrison looks like he's going to pick the top line for the restart. It's going to cycle Michael Triscaro down to the bottom. It's a smart idea by the driver of the number 43 machine to split the Limitless Racing teammates and make them try to get hooked back up here, not line them up on the restart, especially in the middle line where they have so many options. Bubba Winningham up 16 spots to 14th. He's our biggest mover to this point. Jorge Rincon up 12 spots. Donald Sadusky up 9. Robert Morrison up 9. DJ Thomas up 8th. He's just inside the top 10. And the bright pink number 20 a little further back on row number 5. A lot of storylines to watch for. This is our second trip to Talladega. The first trip dominated by Limitless. Really, both weeks have had stints where Limitless cycled guys out front over and over and over again, so these guys have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, how do we go out and beat these guys? How do we go out and get it done? And we'll see if they can do just that. Going back green on lap number 7, race leader is Robert Morrison in the outside lane, with Michael Triscaro to his inside, looking to get a good start. Charles Johnson right up on the back of the 34, rear to go. Same with Cody Nagels in the outside lane, our defending champion and our points leader. Looking to continue the great success he's had in NSRA here the past season and a half or so. Robert Morrison brings the field into the restart zone. We'll be back green flag racing. Waiting on the green flag. There it is. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again here on lap 7 from Talladega. A bit of a split restart. Kind of a weird restart out of both lines. Neither line really gets going. That's going to allow Charles Johnson to get right to the back bumper of Michael Triscaro. Nagels immediately to the top with the help of Donald Sadusky in the 19. They're going to cycle Robert Morrison backwards, and now Triscaro gets hung out. He tries to throw a block. He does. He pulls it off. An aggressive move by Michael Triscaro, but he manages to keep the lead. What a move by the driver of the 34. And he's going to stay in the middle right in front of Charles Johnson. Doesn't want Johnson to end up hanging him out. That's exactly what's going to happen. Meanwhile, that scrambles. Let the top side roll. Cody Nagels coming forward in the 6 machine. Charles Johnson in the lead for the time being. But Cody Nagels is going to roll all the way to the race lead. In fact, he's going to go all the way down. He might pick up his teammate. Yep, he's going to stay second lane for now. Try to haul Michael Triscaro along with him. And they're going to go to the bottom. Limitless, 1-2. Oh, Dean Wilkinson stays in the middle. And Donald Sadusky has a huge run. Help from Les Levy up top. Stephen McComas is in this as well. Richard Sanchez is up here near the front. Now the 510 is not on the lead lap. But nonetheless, he's up here shaking it up with the leaders in the mix. Dean Wilkinson pokes his nose out front just briefly. Oh, a big shake from Dana Osborne. Triscaro has to dive onto the apron, bail out. They keep it straight somehow. As Donald Sadusky pokes his nose out front again, Cody Nagels going to have the push to the bottom from his teammate Michael Triscaro. Still 3x3. Somebody looking for any kind of room here. Lap number 8 on the board, coming to lap number 9 here as we pass the start-finish line. As Dean Wilkinson may get all the way to the clear of the lead here. He will. He'll drop down in front of Cody Nagels, new leader, Dean Wilkinson. Great run there by the 55. Good push by the 8 of Dana Osborne. And so off of turn number 2 yet again, still 3x3 a lot of the way back. Cody says, nope, I'm not content to run second. I want to run in the lead. And so he jumps to the outside of Dean Wilkinson and starts to make his presence felt at the front. Once again, top line still Sadusky and Les Levy. Stephen McComas is up there as well as Bubba Winningham. But their run is starting to fade just a little bit. Lap 9 on the board, coming to lap number 10. 3 wide, 4 rows deep, a little further back. Top 4 rows are double file. Lockstep, never mind. Harold Rothery says, no, sir, I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to try to go get my run as well. Cody Nagels back to the race lead. Leaves Osborne to lead the middle. Rothery to lead the top. 3x3, about 6 rows deep now at Talladega. Make that 5 rows deep, maybe 6. Andrew Schroeder in the 48 starting to look a little bit racy back there. Off into turn number 3, Nagels clear. Rothery, oh boy, that was tight right there. I think he wanted to clear down in front of the 8 of Dana Osborne. Did not get it in time. And so instead, Rothery forced to regroup, try to get that run back going. He faded about 5 car lengths there on the outside line. Nagels getting a great push from Dean Wilkinson on the bottom there, holding the anchor for this lead pack. But don't look now. Limitless is cycling their way to the front. Vicente Guerrero is not far from this group. Same with DJ Thomas waiting in the wings. Still 2 wide most of the way back. 2 rows of 3 wide as Rothery and Sadusky get shuffled out. So we'll have to watch for pit stops. Not for a while still. Probably about another 12 or 13 laps. But do keep that number in mind. We were on pit road around lap 7. So keep that number in mind. Around lap 24, 25, somewhere in there is when we're going to make the first green flag pit stop. Oh, a slide out of David Overstreet. Trouble. Around goes Vicente Guerrero. He's going to slide back up and collect some other cars. Mark Mann is involved. Robert Morrison, Robert Jordan, and others. A big slide out of Vicente Guerrero and David Overstreet results in our second caution of the night here on lap number 12. So throw that number out the door. We're not going to be using that number anymore for a pit stop. And we'll see what happened here with Vicente Guerrero. He's riding behind David Overstreet here going into the tri-oval. Harold Rothery starts to come down just a little bit. Oh, maybe I think he may have spooked David Overstreet a little bit. He gets out of the throttle. Vicente, obviously, not enough time to react. Overstreet somehow holds on to that. Vicente does not. Comes down across Jorge Rincon. DJ Thomas, oh, is going to hook the 28 of Rincon. See if DJ ends up out of this. I don't know. Vicente coming up awfully quick. Yeah, he does. Rincon goes for a slide through the grass. Jimmy Reynolds trying to miss it. Gets a piece of McComas. There's Robert Jordan. Robert Morrison piling in. Mark Mann, nowhere to go. Tried to go up against the wall. It was not there for him. And he goes for a slide. Some heavy front-end damage on the 0-4 machine. And looks like Larry Dickerson is involved in this one as well. Just a little bit. Yep, he does get some right rear damage. Goes for a slide on the apron. So our second caution of the night coming out here on lap number 12. We'll go one more. We'll try to get a maybe an onboard from Vicente Guerrero. This is a pretty good camera too. Let's see if maybe the 68 lifted here. Oh yeah. So unfortunately Vicente not enough time, and comes right back up in front of the field. So back to live action here. Race off pit road won by Cody Nagels in the 6. And he will lead the field here back to the green flag shortly. And we'll see what happens under our next green flag run. So 2 early cautions here have kind of shaken the field up just a little bit. And we'll go through that a little bit here in just 1 second. So catch your breath yet again. Some good racing at the front of the field tonight so far. Still a long ways to go, though. And still green flag pit stops to wrestle with if we can get into a long green flag run. We were getting close right there with some good racing, some good clean racing. Guys looking to save their cars, go get some track position while they're at it. Obviously doesn't end up working out. We're back under the yellow flag once again. So looking back through your running order, it will be Nagels leading the field. A great pit stop from the 6 machine. Dana Osborne will be second. Dean Wilkinson, how about the run for him so far? He's in third. Donald Sadusky, same thing. Great run for the 19 so far. Found his way to the front and has not missed a beat. Has not left. Michael Triscaro still in the top 5 in 5th. Charles Johnson, our pole sitter, is 6th. DJ Thomas got through that one mostly unscathed. He's 7th. Andrew Schroeder's 8th. Bubba Whittingham's 9th. Stephen McComas is going to round out your top 10 as we have one pull off the racetrack. That's going to be Dana Osborne. So David Overstreet will be the last car in the top 10. Shuffle everybody up 1 position from second on back. And we will re-rack them once again here. 1 to go until we go green. Lap number 14 will be our restart lap. Excuse me, it'll be 15. Lap 15, we're going to go back to the green flag. Put these guys back up to full song. A little bit of rear end damage on Michael Triscaro's car, the white 34. Right in the center of the back end of that IROC paint. So we'll see how that damage affects him on this restart, if at all. We'll have his teammate behind him, DJ Thomas, I'm sure, is telling him what the damage report is, and obviously he's going to let him know here if that's going to affect him or not. It shouldn't. It's not a lot of damage. But regardless, some damage for Michael Triscaro running up front in this field. 2 fast repairs for these guys to work with, so a wreck by no means is the end of your night. Still can easily come right back out and make it happen. Obviously, some guys having to use their fast repairs already. Larry Dickerson being one of them. In fact, he may have used his second already. It is 2 they got to work with. So you get basically 3 cars, 2 mulligans. You get 2 free wrecks, and then from there, obviously, got to keep it safe and make it to the end of the race. Going to be going back to green on lap number 15 of 80. Still 66 laps to go, so a really long way to go. Endurance, attrition, going to become a factor later on tonight, at the rate we're going at least. So we'll see here on this restart. It will be Cody Nagels Like I said, defending Sunday night champion and the current points leader. Looking to continue his run of dominance to start the season. And he will have control of the field. Pace car takes the hard left turn onto pit road. The field will be left in the hands of that bright gold number 6 machine, as he gets ready to take us back under green flag racing. Into the Geico restart zone they come. Green flag is back in the air once again. Lap 15 on the board. NSRA race 3 at Talladega. What a great start it was for the top side that time by Dean Wilkinson. Making it happen up there. With the help of Michael Triscaro, but Cody Nagels quickly gets the run back to the inside. He's going to retake the lead for the time being. We'll see where the run goes here. Larry Dickerson pulling off, going to the back. Does not like what he sees. And Cody getting a great push from Donald Sadusky and Charles Johnson up front. So we'll keep Nagels out in front of this field. 2 wide lockstep formation all the way back. Les Levy, the first one to move. And he tucks back in line behind David Overstreet in the 68. Everybody just content to ride 2x2 rush hour traffic at 190 miles an hour. Lap 16 on the board, 65 laps to go from Talladega. Still a long way remaining, like I've been saying, so you have to be patient. It's not like the race we saw earlier. You saw the first part of our double feature tonight. As Donald Sadusky goes to the outside in front of Dean Wilkinson, he wants the race lead, and he's going to get it down the back straightaway. So how about that run out of Donald Sadusky? For the first time tonight, he leads the field. Drops back in front of the 6 and leaves Dean Wilkinson once again to lead the top side. But like I was saying, it's not like that first race we watched tonight, where you kind of had to have track position all night, and if you didn't, it was going to be tough sledding. Tonight, it's all about endurance, to getting your car to the end, executing on a green flag pit stop, multiple green flag pit stops, and making sure you make the right moves at the right time, and that you still have a clean car when we come down to it. Donald Sadusky pulling ahead here. Clear of the 55 of Wilkinson. Great push by Cody Nagels. Third line getting wound up. There goes Nagels to the top in front of Wilkinson. Third line wound up. Levy and Dana Osborne coming forward just a little bit. You can make it happen with 2 cars in the Xfinity Series machines. Obviously going to be interesting to see if they can get something going. They're doing just that. They're even with DJ Thomas in the 20. About 4 cars back. Make it 3 cars back at the leaders now. Big run. Osborne. What a push he's given to the 62 of Levy. David Overstreet going with him. Cody Nagels clears back across Donald Sadusky and goes right back to the race lead. As the field spreads out, fans out. Michael Triscaro goes 3. Levy tries to put him 4 wide. Triscaro slams the door. Michael Triscaro, a spirited effort out of the driver of the 34 so far tonight. You can tell there is a hunger there for him as Levy looks outside of him again trying to split. Now looks back inside. Levy not wanting any part of working with the 34. Michael Triscaro, the middle line as a result, is discombobulated. Dana Osborne got out of there. Now Levy gets out of there, and they all leave Michael Triscaro hanging. John Guerra a little further back is going to be the only help that Triscaro gets. Sadusky goes top. Nagels blocks. We're going to fan out. We're going to fan out 3 wide as Wilkinson and DJ Thomas go to the outside. Now Thomas fades back in line behind his teammate. Winningham goes out to the wall. Levy following him out there. Here comes Triscaro back with a run. Shuffling at the front of the field. Great racing up front. A seasoned move by Cody Nagels to block that run. It almost didn't work out for him, but his teammate DJ Thomas with another veteran move out of him. Great move out of the 20. Took the 55 to the high line, then said, oh, nope, I see my teammate. I'm going to go get him. And they're going to be clear to the top here as Charles Johnson drops back across the field to retake the lead, and that allows the limitless teammates of Nagels and Thomas to roll to the outside line. They got Dana Osborne locked all over them as they try to get the race lead back here at lap 19 on the board. What incredible racing we've got for a Sunday night. Everybody back to 2x2 after that brief scramble for a couple laps. Nagels clear. New leader, Cody Nagels yet again. That allows DJ Thomas to run the top line now. Had to drive up from 17th to get to where he is. He's got a great pusher behind him in Dana Osborne, so expect him to roll. A little further back, Les Levy trying to make it happen on the third line with the help of Michael Triscaro in the 34, trying to get his way back up into the top 10 of this race. He's just outside the top 10 as we run right now. DJ Thomas pokes his nose out front for a brief moment. Nagels, with the help of Johnson, gets back to the lead here in turns 3 and 4. They're going to have a big run on the outside. Dana Osborne has just been such a reliable pusher in this race. No surprise. The DJ Thomas is rolling in the outside line. He's going to get the race lead. I just don't know how long it's going to take, but he's going to get it right here because Dana Osborne with a huge push off into 1. He's not going to quite get it in 1 and 2. Ran a little bit too high. Might get it on the back straightaway here. Third line forming up. Now Osborne goes out to take the third line, so all of a sudden DJ Thomas's momentum is gone. Nagels goes up to get him. A teammate move, another veteran move, a great move by Cody Nagels. We saw a lot of this out of Limitless the last 2 weeks. Picking up their teammates, trying to get their help forward. Third line fizzles just as fast as it came to the front. The only car out there now, Dana Osborne, who is plummeting through the field. Gonna look back a little bit further as Nagels drops across and allows Thomas to once again lead the outside line. Look back a little bit further. Robert Jordan, Len McNeese, Larry Dickerson, Rick Seabrants, Mark Mann, they're all back here. Chad French as well. So some interesting drivers choosing to stay at the back of this field, at least for the time being. Drivers off the lead lap right now. Rothery, Guerra, French are not off the lead lap, but they are almost a lap down. About 50 seconds behind these leaders. And going into 3, does DJ get it? Not quite. Third line coming again. Levy, Triscaro, Guerra. Jorge Rincon is up there as well in the 28. Stephen McComas trying to follow him as well, but he's a little bit further back. They are coming in a hurry. Oh, they left the line open for Wilkinson. Oh, boy, he almost made him pay right there. That was almost disaster. We almost went 4 wide in the trial, but yet again, that's going to allow the top line to roll big time. Here comes Les Levy to the front of the field. Oh, close moment there as Triscaro gave him a push going into turn number 1. Johnson looks to the outside in front of Thomas. He wants to lead back. Bottom line, no help. They're all separated. Charles Johnson back to the race lead, at least for the time being. And DJ Thomas settling to push once again. Les Levy up against the wall, rim riding 3x3, 4 rows deep once again. Here on lap number 23. What great racing up front in the start of this race. Some really intense racing for what we usually see on Sundays. Overstreet jumping out to pick up his teammate Les Levy. It's not really there. Charles Johnson actually dragging the line a little bit wide. Oh, they might want to get back in line. DJ Thomas following the back bumper. The guy in front of him, he's going to get hung out if he's not careful. Jumps back in line. Behind Charles Johnson. Oh, Schroeder got loose. Big time in the bottom line. He manages to hold on to it. That's going to shuffle the field for a moment as Schroeder goes backwards. New leader Charles Johnson pokes his nose out front of the field here. Headed into turn number 3. Triscaro and Garrett still trying to work that third line. It's just not really working for him. Dana Osborne's made his way back to the front of the field. He's third in line on the outside line. One of these times, Charles Johnson, I don't think he's going to get back in line. I don't think they're going to let him back in line. One of these times, oh, a big push out of DJ. The outside line getting really unstable. But only for a moment to get it figured out. Allows Cody to lead yet another lap. Osborne jumps out from behind Thomas. Nagels jumps up to pick up the middle. That allows Sadusky to the bottom to drive through that gap, take the lead for just a moment. Outside line rolling yet again. Osborne, Levy, Triscaro, Guerra, and Guerrero now. Vicente Guerrero. The bright green IROC machine a little further back. Nagels, middle to bottom, retakes the race lead. Oh, Rincon, a big slide a little further back off of John Guerra. We keep it together, though. Still 3x3 up front. Third line still trying to work, not any longer, though, as Michael Triscaro jumps out of line. It's only 3 cars up there now. Osborne, Levy, and John Guerra. Donald Sadusky jumps up. He takes the race lead in front of Dean Wilkinson. Richard Sanchez back on the lead lap. He's up here as well. Les Levy still trying to work that third line. Just not really going for him right about now. Now even a bigger moment as the pack gets a little bit separated just for the moment. Still, green flag racing here on lap number 26. Sadusky, Dean Wilkinson leading the field. Everybody back to 2 by 2 for the most part. As guys calm down just a little bit. What a great period of racing we've had for the last few minutes, though. If you're just tuning in, you missed a good start to this one. NSRA Sunday Select at Talladega has been a barn burner to this point. Dean Wilkinson back out front at the line to put lap 27 on the board. Still everybody 2 by 2. Richard Sanchez giving a great push on the bottom, and that's good because the bottom line is very separated right now. Not a lot of organization down there. So they're going to have to try to figure it out. Up top, though, Sadusky with a big push from Cody Nagels. He's not going to get clear, but he's going to get close. As Cody shoves him out. Oh, boy, Charles Johnson takes the gap in front of Bubba Winningham to get to the bottom of the racetrack. That allows DJ Thomas a little bit of a gap to drive up here, get closer to the front of the field behind his teammate Nagels. Now watch out, especially if Vicente Guerrero can get clear. You'll have Limitless lined up almost on that outside line. Let's see if Vince can get clear here. He's not quite going to there. He's still going to be in the middle of a 3-wide battle. As Les Levy's still trying to get that top line to work. It hasn't worked yet for him, as he's trying his best, but just not a lot going for him there. They're outside of David Overstreet, about 5 rows back. That's just about as far as they've gotten to this point. Lap 28 on the board. Now they get a little bit of a run going into 3. So some progress by the outside line. Don't be surprised if Nagels and Thomas take this right here when it gets to them. If they take this run and try to go to the outside and make something happen. They are lined up behind Sadusky, and I don't think they would hesitate to hang him out again. I know they want the race lead, so we'll see if they do it. For now, Nagels content to push Sadusky in the 19. Levy is closing in, though. Contact. Guerra and Guerrero, a brief moment of contact. As there he goes, Cody Nagels to the outside to pick up the top line. He could not take DJ Thomas with him, but now Les is going to have to be content to push the 6. Headed off into turn number 3. He's gonna have to just ride behind him. Let's see if the third line can go anywhere. Up front, though, still all Dean Wilkinson with Richard Sanchez. Charles Johnson in tow as we approach lap number 30. Nagels fades back in line now in front of Levy. Wow, interesting decision by Nagels. I thought he was going to commit to the top. Doesn't see it going anywhere, so decides, okay, I'll go back to the middle, get behind my teammate, gain some more ground, and Thomas doing an excellent job of pushing Donald Sadusky. Keeping that outside line moving, keeping him even with the leaders. They may get the lead right here. Sanchez backed way off to 55. They're going to clear Sadusky down. Thomas goes to the outside. Nagels can't go with him. So they're 3 wide for a moment, as I think they're going to let DJ fade back in line. They are. So I thought for a second they were going to get the 19 clear instead. Maybe a mistake by DJ Thomas in the 20. And guys starting to fade down. Cody, I think, is looking for that spot in front of Triscaro. He gets it. And so 2 by 2 most of the way back. Garrett and McComas the only ones out of formation as of right now. Everybody's starting to fade just a little bit down to that bottom line as we approach what I assume is going to be green flag pit stops. So I talked about them for a long time there on that first run, whether or not we were going to get them. I think we're getting close to that number as everybody's starting to fade down. You saw the Limitless cars pretty much on cue go all to the bottom line at once. So we'll see if we have any takers here coming up in the next few laps. Still Wilkinson, Sanchez, Johnson, Winningham out front. They've been out front for the last couple of laps. Here we go. Limitless is first. It's the 4 Limitless cars that make the first turn to pit road. They draw Robert Morrison with them. They draw Rincon with them. They draw Jimmy Reynolds with them as well. Limitless Racing on pit road on lap number 32. Back up front. Dean Wilkinson in the 55 is going to be the race leader, at least for the time being. As they all file into line. So we're going to have some more takers here. Watch that group that's led by the Limitless cars as they get ready to come back onto the racetrack. Just be ready to watch out for them. See how far back they are going to be, because these guys are not really all that together. And here we go. More pit stops. Dean Wilkinson, Charles Johnson. Donald Sadusky's awfully hot. He's going to miss pit road. Oh, Wilkinson misses it. Dean Wilkinson misses pit road and has to slide back onto the racetrack, or excuse me, slide back onto the pit lane. And so that's going to be a penalty, and I would not be surprised if the 19 of Sadusky gets a penalty as well. A problem for Alex Giffen as he got out of shape, and a problem somewhere on this racetrack for DJ Thomas, I believe. Oh, nope, scoring tells me all good on the DJ Thomas machine. And so the leader is going to be Bubba Winningham in the 66. How about Bubba running up front? Good to see him running up front. They're going to make pit stops right here, though. Winningham, Overstreet, this entire group. McComas, Osborne, Rothery, and Russ Hancock. They're going to drag Dusty Burkhart with them as well. And so that will cycle the lead. I believe over to Richard Sanchez, unless, and on cue, the Limitless cars beat them out, minus Vicente Guerrero. Not sure what happened to Vince. But Limitless is rolling, and they are going to cycle back forward to the lead. There's Vicente a little further back on the bottom. Some kind of issue on the blend for Vicente Guerrero. He's going to have to hope somebody picks him up. He's got cars behind him, though. Cody Nagels, Michael Triscaro, DJ Thomas, the teammates. Their other two teammates, Guerrero and Robert Jordan, a little further back. Leader is actually Dana Osborne, at least for the moment. But Richard Sanchez will cycle around the 8 machine and will retake the lead here on lap number 34. So a cycle of pit stops is complete. Oh, trouble. Schroeder. That was almost a crash between Schroeder and Dana Osborne as they got hooked together trying to blend onto the racetrack. Whoa, Robert Morrison, big move down the bottom, clips the apron. Keeps it together. So the field a little bit separated. A little bit early 2000s pack racing here is what it looks like to me. Richard Sanchez has the lead, but Cody Nagel's not going to be content to run behind them for very long. Hops out of line with his two teammates and Jorge Rincon in tow, and gets back to the race lead on lap number 35. So good cycle by Limitless to get back to the lead of the race. They're going to try to drag DJ Thomas with them, I believe. That's going to allow Sanchez back in the battle, at least for the time being. There's Dean Wilkinson. So, yes, a penalty on the 55 of Dean Wilkinson for missing pit road on his green flag pit stop. And what a tough break that is for Dean Wilkinson, who really had been one of the more dominant cars of the day. Oh, Robert Morrison is going to go around. Trouble. Robert Morrison's around, and a caution flag, I believe, is going to come out. And, yes, there it is. Morrison, Mark Mann, and Rick Seabrands. And Seabrands has smoke pouring out of the back of the 4. And this started with Robert Morrison getting all kinds of out of shape. You saw it kind of as we were running there. We're going to get up to Robert Morrison. He gets together right here with Andrew Schroeder on the bottom. And as he tries to catch it, older tires, I would imagine, not taking tires on the pit stop, comes back to bite him. He loses control of the race car. Bounces off of Rick Seabrands. They're actually going to collect Dean Wilkinson. Oh, man. That's a horrible few minutes for Dean Wilkinson. And Mark Mann nowhere to go yet again. Second wreck tonight that he just could not miss. And so a tough break there for Robert Morrison, Mark Mann, and Rick Seabrand. So back to live action. The field will once again come down pit road with Cody Nagels out in front, getting close to halfway home here in NSRA Sunday Select Series racing from Talladega. Nagels guides the field onto the pit lane. And so we'll see how this pit cycle rolls out here. Nagels pulls into his pit box. What a run tonight it's been for Nagels, Triscaro, Thomas, and all of Limitless Racing. Richard Sanchez, good pit stop by the 510, good pit stop by the 9. Looks like some guys are opting to go for tires here, and that includes the Limitless cars. So a very interesting decision here by Cody Nagels in the 6, as well as DJ Thomas, Michael Triscaro, all taking what appeared to be 4 tires to me on that pit stop. So we'll cycle back out here. The top 4 have changed. Charles Johnson, Richard Sanchez, Jorge Rincon, and Andrew Schroeder, now your top 5 on the racetrack. The Limitless cars, top 4. The Limitless cars are behind them. Nagels, Thomas, and Triscaro. Vicente Guerrero, Robert Jordan running a little bit further back in the field, so Limitless still running very well. Some other guys running very well. Dana Osborne is inside the top 10, as is Les Levy, as is Stephen McComas. Russ Hancock just outside our top 10. Len McNeese had a great run last week. He's 16th as they run here, closing in on halfway. So a lot has happened so far. A lot still to happen here, almost halfway home. We're going to get it back to green flag racing on lap 39. And Richard Sanchez is going to opt for a second pit stop. He's going to opt to top off on fuel. Dana Osborne, Russ Hancock also opting to come down, as well as Larry Dickerson. So that will swap the field order just a little bit here on this restart. And it's going to be Charles Johnson on the inside of row number 1, leading your field here on lap 38 of 80. Jorge Rincon to his outside in the 28 machine. Andrew Schroeder will cycle forward to 3rd. And then you have Cody Nagels in position number 4. His lights are out atop the pace car. Cody staying on the bottom for now, even though I think he's supposed to be up top. Hopefully he gets the memo here in just 1 second. We'll get a quick look into our YouTube chat while we're waiting. While we got about half a lap until the green flag. Oh, I hate to break it to Cody, but he's missing his fantasy football draft, according to a keen viewer in the chat. And so some decisions that he may have wanted to make are going to be automatically made for him. That's not a great situation for Cody Nagels running 4th. So at least, hopefully he wins to at least alleviate some of the pain of the fact that he's going to have an auto-drafted fantasy football team. Anyway, we're ready to go back to green here on lap number 39. I feel like if he does not win the race now, it's not going to be a great night for Cody Nagels in the 6th, especially when he finds out what he has missed. But regardless, Charles Johnson picks the outside in front of Nagels on this restart. Okay, so really quickly, we do have an update. He did make a pick during the caution, so yeah, we'll definitely have to talk to him about that a little bit later. Regardless, going back to green here on lap number 39 of 80, Charles Johnson is your race leader. And he will get the field back going here with 43 laps to go from Talladega. What a great start it is for Charles Johnson, and unfortunately for Nagels, he may have no help by the time he gets in turn number 1. Johnson opts to go to the bottom, so no help for Cody Nagels up top yet. Schroeder goes to the top. Thomas thought about going up there, stays bottom in front of his teammate Triscaro. So for the time being, it's all Charles Johnson, but watch out. Here comes the 6, shot like a bullet out of a gun off into turn number 3. Cody Nagels back to the lead, a dominant move by the 6 machine. Third line rolling. Les Levy, some contact with McComas, but all of a sudden they have arrived. Levy, Overstreet, Wilkinson, and Sanchez are up against the wall, and they are tight together in formation here off turn number 4. So 3 wide, a little further back. As we're about to put lap 40 on the board, now their run starts to stall just a little bit. This may allow DJ Thomas to get clear on the bottom. Nope, Schroeder with just a good enough push to stay out in front of him. But it's all Cody Nagels out front. That's exactly what he wants to see. Some single file in his mirror for now, though. Rincon look top. Nope. Decides better of it. Goes to the bottom. Opts to ride in line. Levy still testing that third line. He's been the most aggressive when it comes to trying to get that line to work all night long. It just hasn't worked for him. A couple of his helpers bail. Now Winningham goes out there. McComas pushing Schroeder in the middle, trying to get it moving. Cloud cover in turns 3 and 4. Serious cloud cover. And it's changed the driver's perspectives a little bit. Now we're going to scramble as McComas goes to the top along with Dean Wilkinson. Trying to get to the race lead. Still Johnson, Schroeder, and Sadusky in the middle. Cody Nagels bottom side really with no help. Charles Johnson's going to go back to the lead as the field bypasses Sean Stevens. McComas rim riding with the help of Dean Wilkinson. Just no help for Cody on the bottom right now. He needs some helpers or somebody to get down in front of him because the bottom line is going to fade in a hurry here. Limitless, really, they're lined up 1, 3, 4, 5. The bottom line make that 2, 4, 5, 6. Charles Johnson drops across the bottom. 3 wide for the race lead for the first time tonight. As Andrew Schroeder makes a big run into turn number 3. McComas was all the way up against the wall. Now they begin to fade. Top line worked for a little bit. Does not work anymore, though. Cloud cover really around the whole racetrack. Almost a looming darkness over the racetrack here as we come through the tri-oval. Lap 43 goes on the board. 42. So we're past halfway in this race. Sun back out in turns 1 and 2. So an interesting bit of weather going on here at Talladega as the guys, their perspective, their depth perceptions getting a little thrown off by the different cloud cover we've gotten. It's serious down the backstretch into turn number 3 now. As Andrew Schroeder and Charles Johnson continue to lead our field. One car looking topside. It's Stephen McComas. Not a lot going for him there, though. And Charles Johnson continues once again to lead the field. Lap 42 on the board. We're going to see if we can get to another pit stop cycle. Schroeder pokes his nose out front. Sadusky says, I'm going by. You better get to the bottom. And that's exactly what Schroeder does. Donald Sadusky not waiting a second for Cody Nagels. Oh, scramble further back around Les Levy. Oh, Triscaro's off the pace. Robert Jordan's off the pace. A scramble in 1 and 2. Not sure what happened there, but Michael Triscaro got the worst of that. No doubt in my mind. Tough break for Michael Triscaro of Limitless. That's going to throw him off big time. Let's see just how far back he drops. He's got Adam Kilday in front of him. But they are well off the pace, so a tough break for the driver of the 34. Meanwhile, up front, it's about a 12-car breakaway. Make that 11 in front of Les Levy. As David Overstreet's the last car in this lead draft. Cody a blink. Another blink. He's back, though. But a brief moment of panic, I'm sure, for Cody Nagels. Donald Sadusky now leads the field to help with Richard Sanchez. Third line coming to the front just a little with McComas and Overstreet. But mostly 2x2 formation in this 11-car breakaway here at the front of the field. Second group starting to pull back to them. That's 4 cars. And then another about second and a half back to what is our third group now. And Adam Kilday, Michael Triscaro well off the pace. Triscaro actually off the pace further than Adam Kilday is. Sadusky across the bottom line to the race lead on lap 45. As McComas and David Overstreet continue to try to work that outside line all the way up against the wall, not really going for him. Schroeder threw a block on Sanchez, and I don't think Sanchez liked it very much, but he has to just kind of deal with it. Not much he can do. Schroeder uses Sanchez to go to the lead and then bails. Goes back to the bottom. New leader Andrew Schroeder at Talladega in the 48. Nagels, that's going to give him an opportunity to get up to the middle in front of his teammate Vicente Guerrero. Their other teammate DJ Thomas on the bottom right now. About 6 cars back. At the line, 2x2. Richard Sanchez to the race lead briefly. 35 laps to go here from Talladega Superspeedway. Nagels look third line. Oh, thought better of it. Drops back in. Third in line behind Harold Rothery and Richard Sanchez on that outside line. Second group is led by Dusty Burkhart, and they're really not gaining a ton of time. Well, now they're starting to gain a little bit, about 1.3 seconds back of this lead group. Oh, McComas trouble. Guerrero and Rincon are around, and this is a big wreck. Russ Hancock, John Guerra, Stephen McComas, Robert Jordan, Larry Dickerson, and others. So we'll get a look at it. Third line was starting to roll a little bit as McComas went off into 3 and looks like loses the handle on the 70, chases it down, catches the right side of Vicente Guerrero, who hits the 28 of Rincon. Big hit to the outside wall for both those cars. McComas up on his side as they fly by our camera here. Les Levy getting by it. Larry Dickerson trying to get by it. Not much he can do. Russ Hancock, John Guerra getting collected. And another sizable incident plagues us here close to lap 50. So a tough incident there. Regardless, another caution, which will stall the green flag pit stop cycle from happening. We're going to go back under the yellow flag. You're on lap number 47. And the drivers will come down pit road with the exception of Harold Rothery, who is going to be back on the lead lap by virtue of the wave around. Everybody else coming to make a pit stop here on lap number 47. Field comes back off pit road, starts to cycle. Richard Sanchez will lead them off pit road in the 5-1-0. Still not quite to lap 50 yet. This race has been plagued with cautions. Abnormal for an NSRA Sunday Select racing. Intensity very high tonight. From the drop of the green flag, you can tell. But these guys are just, they were rearing to go before the race, and as the race has gone on, you can just tell. These guys are in a different world tonight from where they usually are. I'm not sure what has gotten into these guys to make them so intense. But regardless, it's led to great racing at times, but it's also plagued us with cautions. So let's see if they can get this figured out to go to the end here. About 30 laps to go when we go green flag racing once again. Take another look in YouTube chat. Again, appreciate everybody coming out tonight for Sunday Select. It's been a fun one so far. These guys have put on a show. Still a ways to go in this one. So we are going to see what these guys have in store for us. But we'll look in YouTube chat just briefly here. Marvin Overstreet in the chat. Rooting for David Overstreet. Good to see you, Marvin. David Overstreet having himself a pretty good run tonight. You can see him try to get back to the front here on this restart. He's just outside the top 20 as they run. We have seen that bright pink IROC machine near the front a couple of times tonight. Don't be surprised if he makes his presence felt once again the further we go into this race. As Sean Stevens going to get a lap back here by virtue of the wave around. He'll pass the pace car. And while we're at it, why don't you get a look at 27 of Sean Stevens. The Wow Video Tours 27 machine, the sponsor of tonight's race. We'll give Sean Stevens a shout out. Definitely appreciate him for coming on board for tonight's NSRA event. As he gets one of his laps back, still at least one down is the 27 machine. But a clean car, so he's going to go to work here on this restart trying to get back to the lead lap. Up front, Richard Sanchez is going to be our leader on this restart inside 30 to go. Actually, not quite. Will not quite be inside 30 to go. It'll be 31 to go when we go green on lap number 50. So a long way to go. At least one pit stop. I think we're down to one now. So if we get into a green flag run, expect one more pit stop to be made. If we can get to that point, and boy, what an important pit stop that would be, the money stop if we get there. So number crunching, I'm sure, going on in this field of drivers. They had to play driver and crew chief. Here's they discuss amongst their teams what they want to do on this last run of the race. Obviously, you have two green-white checkers to think about, so you got to think you probably go a little bit long, try to maybe save some on this run, go a little bit longer than you usually would, and be able to guarantee yourself the two green-white checkered attempts on fuel if they are needed tonight. So a long way to go to determine that, but you got to start thinking about it as we get closer to what could be the last green flag pit stop of the night. Pace car is off. Richard Sanchez has the field stacked up behind him 2 by 2. 31 laps to go from Talladega Superspeedway. Into the Geico restart zone they come. Green flag back in the air. They're back on the loud pedal. And Sanchez pulls out just a nose here with the help of Cody Nichols on the bottom. Up top, Sadusky, Schroeder, and DJ Thomas. Dusty Burkhart has made his presence felt in the top 10. Same with Les Levy as he makes the bottom work here on this restart. Field spread out a long ways back. Vicente Guerrero's trying to make it happen. Rick Seabrands, Mark Mann. A lot of guys trying to make the move here, trying to get to the front. They know it's time to start giving yourself a chance to win, making your moves, getting in position for that last pit stop, which is going to be crucial. Entrance. Stopping on your side. Don't slide the tires. Don't speed. Don't make a mistake. Don't slide on exit. So much goes into the execution of a pit stop, and if you're in this front pack, you're starting to think about that because of how important that last pit stop is going to be. Leader at the line, Donald Sadusky in the 19. What a great run it's been for him tonight. He really has had a whale of a run going for him. He's made some great moves to get up front, stay up front. So we'll see if he can get the job done when it comes down to it. Richard Sanchez pokes the nose back out front, the 5-1-0, by virtue of the help coming from Cody Nichols. DJ Thomas still up here riding third in the outside line right now. He's been up front all night long. Can't say enough about the rookie campaign. It's been even just through 2.5 races for DJ Thomas. Seems like we're saying his name a lot. So good to see him up front. Donald Sadusky goes from top to bottom. It's going to allow Schroeder to lead the outside line with help from DJ Thomas. So Thomas now pretty much alone with Schroeder. Now Johnson goes up. Oh, Sanchez. That was awfully close. He washed up just a little. Cody Nagels another blink out of that gold number 6. We all keep it together. 2x2 still for the race lead. Schroeder and Sadusky trying to settle it. Oh, Thomas rolls a little bit wide in turn 3. It's going to stall the middle just for a short time. Allow Sadusky pull back out front into the lead. DJ Thomas trying to push Schroeder. David Overstreet makes the first big move of this run to the outside in front of Jorge Rincon. Vicente Guerrero and Dana Osborne are up there as well. Third line rolling, trying to get wound up. And you can tell we are getting down to it. The intensity is ramping up. Cody Nagels goes bottom to middle. He sees the run coming. He may take it here to the third line if Overstreet or Bubba Winningham give him the opportunity to do so. He's going to stay in line for the time being. Schroeder goes down, takes the race lead. That's going to allow for a push to the top side. Here comes our Talladega winner from the season opener, DJ Thomas, for the first time tonight. He pokes the nose out front in that bright pink and orange and black number 20. He's finally got clean air across his nose. Let's see what he can do with it. He struggled all night to get right here. He's got a great push from Charles Johnson, who's going to split him if he's not careful, but not quite to that level of intensity yet. Top line is faded. Cody Nagels takes it. The problem is he's not going to have a ton of help. David Overstreet now coming to him into one. Cody Nagels may have a massive head of steam by the time we get to the back straightaway right here. Thomas, no help from Charles Johnson. It's going to allow Schroeder to go, and Thomas, oh, does he block it? Yes, he does. Big block, DJ Thomas. Stays up in front of his teammate, Cody Nagels. Johnson, crossover move into the middle. He's going to pass Thomas for the time being and go to P2. Well, excuse me, it's going to be P3 now. And that's going to allow the teammates to regroup in the top line, Thomas and Nagels. And if any two cars can make the third line work, it's going to be those two. Cody Nagels certainly in contention for best pusher on the racetrack right about now. Sadusky looks for the lead in front of Charles Johnson. That's going to slow the middle line up for the time being and allow DJ Thomas and Cody Nagels to be right back into this fight. Bubba Winningham up to the top. He goes 3. Thomas goes higher. 4 wide up against the wall. Go to limitless teammates. The 20 and the 6 deciding it's time to go. It's time to be intense. It's time to make not desperation moves, but a little bit more aggressive moves. If you're going slow, they're going to go right around you, and that's exactly what they did. What a great move. Quick reaction by DJ Thomas said, oh, I have too much of a run. Got to just take it. Rather than slow up the whole line, risk a wreck. So we'll see if they get rolling back to the front. Colin Sadusky does get up now in front of Charles Johnson. Adam Kilday has made his way to the top 5. A blink out of Cody Nagels. A long one at that, too. Another one. Third line stalling because of Nagels. Well, maybe not. Whoa, Schroeder got off the track. Right as Sadusky dropped down. Burkhart, a slide through the grass. He's going to keep it going. Great save by the 69. Up front, new leader, DJ Thomas. Power move to the outside for the 20. Looking to go back-to-back in our trips to Talladega. To the middle he goes. Oh, can't drift too far. Sadusky is down there still to 19. Nagels with help from Overstreet. 3 wide for the race lead up front. Inside, 25 laps to go in NSRA Sunday Select, and these guys are racing like it's the white flag. Sadusky and Thomas are race leaders. Nagels trying to get some help from Overstreet. Up in the top lane. Johnson to the outside of Thomas. Thomas went to block, may have slowed him up just enough to allow Kilday to get to him and push him and keep him clear of the 9. Let's see. I don't know. Nagels may push the 9 clear right here. Thomas trying to stay out front of him. He is going to, I believe. Just enough of a block to slow up their momentum. Sadusky comes up to the middle to block. What a weird move in the Xfinity car. Usually you only see this in the trucks. That's going to stall every line out as the bottom line gets discombobulated. DJ Thomas has to check up. Charles Johnson really had nothing he could do because he had to run a little bit wide in turns 1 and 2. Slowed the lineup, still 3 wide for the race lead. That's going to allow Andrew Schroeder another gap to the bottom. Oh, he washed up just a little bit there in 3 and 4. Got to be careful on old tires. I wouldn't be surprised to see DJ Thomas take this if he gets clear. The aggression we've seen out of him and his teammates, just would not be surprised if that was a move that he would make if he can get it here anytime soon. 23 laps to go from Talladega. Donald Sadusky is back out in front, but not for long. Schroeder with the help of Sanchez, 3x3, 5 rows deep behind them. Big side draft from Donald Sadusky. Big help from DJ Thomas. There he goes. He takes it in front of Johnson. What did I say? DJ Thomas, another power move to the outside in the 20. Let's see if he can get to the middle. I don't know. It's going to be awfully close. He will clear down to the middle. DJ Thomas, what a move. Back to the race lead goes the 20. An inspired effort from DJ tonight. Oh, the middle line stacks up a little bit behind him, though, which allows Schroeder and Johnson right back into this fight for the race lead. 23 laps to go. It's going to be 22 as we fly by the start-finish line. 3 wide all the way back through this field. Unbelievable racing up front right now. As we pass 22 laps to go, the top line fades just a little as DJ clears down to the bottom and takes the race lead now permanently. Schroeder going to get right to his back bumper, give him a nice shove going off into turn number 3. They're going to have some big momentum. Down here in the middle of the corner, top line fading just a little, Johnson and Nagels. It won't be faded for long, Cody. Probably just trying to cool the engine off, trying to get some temps back in that 6 car. And roll towards the front. Meanwhile, Donald Sadusky, a very good run out of turn number 4. He goes right back to the race lead. And now Johnson with Nagels. They're back to him. What an effort out of those two up top. I told you Nagels was probably just cooling off, and then he's going to go get it, and that's exactly what he is doing. So for now, it's DJ Thomas out front. It may not last much longer, though, as Charles Johnson pokes the nose out front. He is not going to get clear, though. Another great run out of the middle. Kilday and Sadusky. David Overstreet has made his way into this battle, as has Dana Osborne, Harold Rothery. 3 wide, 5 rows, make it 6 rows deep almost. But up front, all DJ Thomas and Donald Sadusky. "20 laps to go." Oh, big move out of Sadusky right there to come down across. DJ Thomas to take the lead now. And that's going to allow Johnson, as those two lines stalled, to get a nice run. David Overstreet's now the pusher in the middle. And remember, we still have a pit stop here at some point in this race. I mean, you got to think it's coming up, too. I figured when we went back green with about 31 laps to go, you'd probably be able to go till about maybe 14 laps to go, which would be about lap 67. Sadusky up again, leaves the bottom for DJ Thomas. It's going to stall the middle just for a second. Thomas back to the low side. Field approaching a lap car pretty rapidly here. It's Sean Guerra in the 88. Back to the lead goes DJ Thomas. Nope, Sadusky ends up leading that lap anyway. So 3 wide still at the front of the field. Oh, trouble! Further back, Rincon, Overstreet, Jordan, Osborne, and others. No caution yet, as they wreck and fly apart in the middle of turns 1 and 2. David Overstreet was way out of shape, as is the McComas machine. Russ Hancock is out of shape, and now the caution is on the speedway with under 20 laps to go from Talladega. So we'll get a look at this. This is a little bit too far back here. So we'll get up a little bit further. Here we go. We're looking at Russ Hancock in the 343 machine. I think it's going to actually start. Oh, it's going to start with Richard Sanchez a little further up. He catches the 68 of David Overstreet, who catches a 28 of Jorge Rincon, and it is on from there. Robert Jordan hits Dana Osborne. And then David Overstreet gets out of shape in the 68, flies across the track. Not a lot he can do when he's sliding. Osborne, McComas is going to hit the 8. Robert Jordan, oh, huge hit to the inside wall for Russ Hancock. Looks like everybody else going to make it out for the most part unscathed. Alex Giffen with some considerable damage on the 99 machine as well. See if we can get a decent look at trying to get a good view of this. And I wanted to go with Rick Sebrands. I think he was far enough back we may be able to get a pretty good look at how he ended up through this caution. So we'll go on board with Rick Sebrands in the 4. See him start to pile up. He bails out. Track's going to be blocked. He can't really see because of Les Levy in front of him. Luckily for him, the seas part and he's able to drive through it. So good stuff there by Rick Sebrands in the 4. We're under caution once again at Talladega inside of 20 laps to go. A race off pit road won by Charles Johnson. That should be the last pit stop of the night. It'll be close. We've got lap number 64 on the board right now. It's going to be 17 to go. Yeah, that should be our last pit stop of the night. Inside of 20 to go. And so we will see what these guys do when we get back to green here on lap number 66. There'll be 15 laps to go when we go back green, and the intensity's up now. I mean, it's time to go. If you weren't going before, you're definitely going now. Let's see. I want to see if we can get a word here. Maybe if this is going to be the last restart. If we can get somebody in here we can talk to. Obviously want to look for somebody that's not going to interrupt their in-race conversations here. Obviously, teams very sensitive about figuring out their strategies, and it's going to have to be quick. And it looks like everybody's going to be discussing strategy. So scratch that. As we come closer to 1 to go. We're going to get back to green here with 15 laps to go in the race. A lot of guys up front that have run well all night. Only one guy can win, though. Dean Wilkinson pulls off for pit road. Sean Stevens going to get another lap back in the 27. Only one guy can win this race, but there's several that you could justify that have a that deserve to win this race. You could argue for Charles Johnson, Donald Sadusky, DJ Thomas, even Sanchez. He's led quite a bit tonight. Cody Nagels has had a great night as well. Andrew Schroeder's had a good night. So a lot of guys up front that maybe think they deserve the win, but only one can get it. And we are getting down to crunch time to see who that is going to be. 15 laps to go. When we hit the stripe, when we go back green, see who's going to win. Round number 3 of NSRA Sunday Select Series from Talladega Superspeedway. We'll take a brief moment here while we have a chance, if we can, and look forward just a little bit. Talladega tonight, we'll have next weekend off for the Labor Day holiday. So no NSRA racing next Sunday night. After that, it's round 4. Back in the Xfinity Series. Cars from 2008 Daytona. So a bumpy Daytona on the schedule very early on in NSRA Sunday Select. After that, the debut of the trucks, and we go 4 straight weeks in the trucks. Talladega, Talladega, and Daytona 2008. So a very good schedule coming up. And it's going to be interesting once the car changes from Xfinity back to the truck series, how the racing changes. We'll have to see. It's going to be a very interesting dynamic. Not a weekly rotation this season like it was last season where we were running a different car. It felt like every other week. It's going to be every 4 weeks that we change now. So gives the guys a chance to have some focus on one car, be able to transfer it from week to week, and then throws them for a loop, gets them back in a different car, and gets the racing completely mixed up. We'll see how it goes a little bit later on in the season. Meanwhile, the pace car is down. Crunch time is on at Talladega. 15 laps to go. Charles Johnson brings the field back into the restart zone yet again. Green flag is back in the air, and we are back underway once again from Talladega. Charles Johnson and Donald Sadusky dead even into turn number 1. Pushes from Richard Sanchez and DJ Thomas as they head off into turn number 2. What a push by the 20 machine. He's going to get Sadusky all the way clear to the race lead off turn number 2. What a great push by DJ Thomas. He's got help from his teammate as well. Dana Osborne up to the top. Les Levy up to the top. Triscaro, they drew Triscaro to the top yet again. The second time tonight that Triscaro's been drawn to the top, and nobody goes with him. And now Kilday fills the gap, but Overstreet's going to pick up the 34. As the 34 falls back in line, Levy to the outside with Dana Osborne. Overstreet to the outside of Triscaro a little further back. Kilday goes with him. Third line starting to wind up yet again, coming to 14 laps to go at Talladega Superspeedway. DJ Thomas to the race lead as we hit the stripe, 14 to go. 62 of Les Levy surging forward on the outside, but up front it's all Limitless. DJ Thomas with the help of Cody Nagels in the 6. His teammate Nagels goes to the top. They might actually do this by design, as Nagels gets a huge shot from Donald Sadusky. He's going to be more than clear, but here's the problem. They may have actually left them too much of a gap. Sadusky might also be clear to the bottom. Might split those teammates up. Sadusky goes top. It's not there. And they slam the door. And no push on the bottom from Harold Rothery. DJ Thomas trying to get back up to pick up his teammate, but the run is still in the middle, so Cody stays put. The top line fades. It'll be 13 laps to go, and here comes another surge by the bottom. DJ Thomas even with his teammate at the line. Les Levy starting to get it wound up. Here they come, the 62 with help from the 8, Dana Osborne. Up top against the wall. Not quite close enough to see the lead quite yet. They're 3 cars back, though. And Charles Johnson up in front of Les Levy. He'll lead the top side. Middle still all Cody Nagels and Donald Sadusky on the bottom. Still DJ Thomas with help from Harold Rothery. Let's see if that third line can get wound up. I don't know. There's still 2 cars back. We'll see. It fades every about 3 laps after they get it going. It starts to fade just a little. So we'll see if it does that this time around. Nagels surges to the race lead in the middle with the help of Donald Sadusky. Vicente Guerrero is making his way into the picture here, as is Rick Seabrands, as is Len McNeese, as is Robert Jordan a little further back in the 74. Sadusky, middle to bottom. He wants the race lead. Trouble. Contact between Guerrero and Harold Rothery. Rothery goes for a slide, goes off the front bumper of Andrew Schroeder. Everybody keeps it together. We stay green. Scrambling at the front of the field. 3 wide for the lead. Nagels to the front. Sanchez gets clear to the bottom. So does Nagels. Let's see if they both go. They don't. Guerrero does. Now Nagels to the bottom. Limitless, flawless teamwork up at the front of the field as they now run 1 and 2. Little further back, some scrambling. It's Donald Sadusky, Rick Seabrands, and Charles Johnson got close trouble. Robert Jordan's in the wall a little further back with Michael Triscaro. They drop through the standings. Spinner. Andrew Schroeder slides through the tri-oval. He's going to keep it going. Another spinner. Russ Hancock a little further back in the 343 got loose. He saves it, and we keep it going. Unbelievable scenes here from Talladega, as all of a sudden it's about an 11-car breakaway for the lead here. 2 by 2 all the way through this group. As Nagels and Guerrero control the lines now, they try to calm this down a little bit. It'll be 10 to go at the line. We assume these guys can make it on fuel. It will be close. Seabrands looks top. Nobody goes with him. Osborne staying in line. And this is exactly where Limitless would like to be. 10 laps to go from Talladega. Seabrands looking again outside. Big push from Richard Sanchez to Guerrero, but the bottom comes back in the form of Sadusky and Nagels. Nagels to the top to pick up his teammate Guerrero. That leaves the bottom open for Sadusky. Some lane managing beginning to happen inside 10 laps to go at Talladega. Les Levy Top to bottom, he's going to fill the gap left by those couple of cars that went to the outside line. Sadusky points his nose out just a little bit with the help of DJ Thomas yet again. Trouble! Off the nose of Thomas goes Sadusky, and the 19 goes spinning, sliding through turns 3 and 4. He saves it, so it could have been a lot worse. Regardless, Sadusky, one of the dominant cars of the day, gets turned off the nose of DJ Thomas. And let's see if we get a little bit better angle of it here. Here we go. This is going to be a pretty great angle right here. And an off-center push. Nothing malicious, but unfortunately when you get off-center, it shoves the guy around in the Xfinity Series cars. Sadusky goes for a slide. He's got some damage on his car. Thomas has some damage from Adam Kilday. What a save by DJ Thomas. Holy cow, how did DJ Thomas keep that rolling in the right direction? Same for Adam Kilday. Both making incredible saves. And I think we have some time. Well, try to get back to it here. I definitely want this on board. In fact, we're going to get some wheel input here from DJ Thomas, because I think you're going to see some serious wheel input here as he tries to save this car. Let's see it. Oh, boy. A wild ride for the 20 of DJ Thomas. And we'll go back here. We'll go to Adam Kilday right behind him as well. Just watch the wheel movement. Listen to that throttle movement. Off it, and back on. Great stuff. DJ Thomas and Adam Kilday to stay out of that wreck for the most part. It could have been a lot worse than it actually was. So we get through it for the most part unscathed. And so we will reset. Catch your breath, because that was an intense period of racing right there on that last run. Great stuff up front for really all these guys that have been running up front, although it does cycle some of those guys back. Donald Sadusky is going to be 22nd on this restart. And up front, it is all limitless. 1, 2, and 3 for the teammates here. Nagels, Guerrero, and DJ Thomas. Triscaro and Jordan a little further back in the field. Whew, catch your breath. What a night it's been for NSRA Sunday Select Series racing. A very intense night of racing. Not the cleanest night of racing, but alas, there's been some great moments in this race. Some incredible 3-wide action. 4-wide action even at times. And we are not done yet. Still inside 10 to go. Still got to figure out who's going to win this race and come away with potentially their first victory of the season. Our 2 winners from the last 2 weeks are inside the top 5. DJ Thomas is 3rd. Rick Seabrans is 5th. So they're looking to play spoiler, be the first repeat winners of this season of NSRA. Some guys behind them, though, and in front of them. In the case of Nagels and Guerrero, looking to get off on the right foot tonight, get a victory, and really propel their seasons forward. And so we will rack the field up once again. Lap 74 goes on the board. We will restart this race with 6 laps to go, as the lights are out atop the iRacing pace car. Cody Nagels is your race leader. His teammate to his outside, their teammate inside row number 2. Behind them, Richard Sanchez, Rick Seabrans, Dana Osborne, Les Levy, Charles Johnson, Robert Morrison, Dusty Burkhart, Len McNeese, Robert Morrison is your top 10. Dusty Burkhart in 11th. Larry Dickerson is recovered to get to 12th. Mark Mann, decent comeback for him to this point. He's 13th. So some guys making some comebacks late in this race. Biggest mover here at this late stage of the race is Richard Sanchez. So he's put himself in position to have a shot at this one with under 10 laps to go. Let's see how these guys decide to settle this one out. The cloud cover is back in turns 3 and 4 like it was earlier on in the race. So considerably darker for these guys as they roll off the back straightaway into the banking of 3 and 4 and back onto the long front straightaway. The notable cliche fact you always hear about Talladega is the start-finish line's further down than Daytona. Well, it's hardly a cliche. It's just a fact. About 1,000 feet further down the racetrack to get to the finish line. So to get to the checkered flag, it's going to take you about an extra 3 or 4 seconds. And that could determine a lot of stuff in a very short time. Pace car turns left, gets out of the way. The field in the hands of the defending NSRA Sunday Select champion, Cody Nagels. In the 6, he brings the field into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're racing once again from Talladega. A shuffle. The middle line does not go. Guerrero, not sure what happened, but he got out of line. He's got no help. Vicente Guerrero, no help. Now Nagels goes up to get him. That's going to allow the bottom to be open for DJ Thomas and Rick Seabrands. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Vicente maybe went early, had to back out, or missed a shift. Some unknown problem on the 14. Top line, Dana Osborne, Charles Johnson, the first to move. Does anyone go with him? Yes, Larry Dickerson, but he's a little ways back. Nagels back to the race lead for the time being, off into 3. But here comes DJ Thomas with another surge to the inside. Dana Osborne, how about that surge to the outside? Third line is coming in a hurry. Dana Osborne's going to have something to say about this one. 2 wide for now, but here comes Osborne. 3 wide for the race lead in the tri-oval. 5 laps to go from Talladega as the field fans out. 3 wide, 8 rows deep in this field. It is go time. Guerrero, Nagels are clear. They go bottom in front of their teammate DJ Thomas. Limitless lined up on the bottom now. They could probably do a lot of controlling from this bottom line. The middle line going to want to say something about that. Richard Sanchez and a caution. Wrecking further back. David Overstreet is up and over. Michael Triscaro is in it. Jorge Rincon is in it. And hold that thought. So here we go. Another replay, another incident. As we're going to look at David Overstreet here. Did not catch this one. It was a little bit further back than our camera angle was giving us right there. Oh, Stephen McComas drifts up. No issues there. Oh, and then as he goes to recorrect, he gets hooked by the 27 of Sean Stevens up to the 99 of Giffen. Giffen up on his side. Triscaro, Russ Hancock, Jorge Rincon, Donald Sadusky is involved. Overstreet gets hit, bounces off the outside wall. Actually, he's going to go up and over here. Sadusky, oh man. An unfortunate situation there for the 19 as he had gotten logged back in traffic. Overstreet gets hit by an oncoming Sean Stevens. Russ Hancock a little further back. And another incident late in this race. Stephen McComas looked like got out of line. We'll get one more look at this here. As we go back a little bit further. There we go. And we'll try to look at Stephen McComas from a little bit different camera angle here. See if he just kind of lost the car as he went to turn in. We saw this happen a little bit earlier too. Yeah, man, just had to chase it up the racetrack, and as he chased it back down, he was fine. And I think you're going to see some right rear net code. And, yep, right rear net code with the 27 of Sean Stevens. Whale of a hit for several guys. Alex Giffen, big damage. Michael Triscaro, big damage. Russ Hancock, Bubba Winningham, and others. So another incident late in this one. We're going to go to overtime attempt number 1 here. We have 2 attempts at a green-white checkered. On this first attempt, for a green-white checkered, it is going to be just a normal green-white checkered. Obviously, if the second attempt ends with a caution before the white flag, that will end the race, and we'll go off the moment of caution to determine the race winner. But this first one, going to be just like normal. We need another attempt. We will re-rack and do it again. But obviously, these guys up front, they don't want to see that. Cody Nagels, Vicente Guerrero, what a race they've run to this point. An inspired run from a lot of guys up front right now. It just shows what it means to win on Sunday night. And several guys want to do it here. We will re-rack the field with what is going to be 2 laps to go. You see guys on the apron, potentially saving fuel. Vicente Guerrero there in the 14. DJ Thomas in the 20. Perhaps saving to make sure they can make both these green-white checkered attempts. Larry Dickerson, Harold Rothery, Robert Morris, and Mark Mann all on the apron. Shortest way around the track, and being on the flat doesn't burn as much fuel. As far off the pace car as Vicente Guerrero is, I'm gonna wager a bet that those guys are saving some gas, trying to make this last little bit of the gas in their tanks last the next at least 1 attempt at the green-white checkered to get them all the way home. Here we go. Lights are going to go out atop the iRacing pace car. Cody Nagels has had a great night. He's led a lot of laps. He's been up front. He's been making moves. It's been a signature Cody Nagels night. The cherry on top would be a victory. Vicente Guerrero's had to climb back through the field a couple of times. He now sees clean air. He's going to have a shot to top off a great night with a victory. Dana Osborne's been the best pusher in the field all night long. He has to do so once again on this restart, but after that he can go to work trying to get a victory here on a Sunday night. Richard Sanchez, you know he's going to be aggressive on this restart. He's going to go for it as well. He will be second in the outside lane. Then you have our Talladega winner from the season opener, DJ Thomas. Not out of this by any means. Charles Johnson's run an incredible race. He is 6th. Rick Seabrand's our winner last week, looking to make it back-to-back. He'll restart from 7th. Len McNeese had a great run last week, looking to back it up. He will be 8th. Larry Dickerson, Les Levy will round out your top 10. First of 2 attempts and an overtime finish to what's been a really great NSRA Sunday Select Series race. Let's see if these guys can finish it with a finish that this race deserves. So here we go. Off of turn number 4, the field rolls potentially for the final time behind the iRacing pace car. It makes the hard left to the pit lane and leaves the field once again in the hands of Cody Nagels. Overtime attempt number 1 here at Talladega is about to get underway. Back towards the restart zone they come. Field tightening up behind the 6 and his teammate the 14. Green flag is back on the speedway. 2 laps to go from Talladega. Pretty much dead even, a drag race in a turn number 1 between Nagels and his teammate. Top line is hooked together pretty good. Bottom line needs to get connected a little bit more. Dana Osborne all over the back of the 6. Off of turn number 2, Vicente Guerrero may go to the lead right here. Third line working. Larry Dickerson, the first one to move. No move out of Les Levy quite yet. Figured he'd be the first to go. Guerrero to the outside. He pokes his nose out, but Dana Osborne makes sure the 6 gets back out front. Mark Mann a little further back with Dean Wilkinson trying to make it happen. Here comes the third lane. Oh, Osborne drifts a little bit off turn 4. That was close. Dickerson is about 4 cars back from the leaders. Can he get there? He's got Kilday with him. Now the third line bails. Here we go. We're going to settle it right here. White flag in the air. Trouble behind them. No caution. Here we go. They wreck in the back. Never mind. We're going to keep it up here. We're going to race this one out. Nagels back out front of his teammate Guerrero. I figure they're just going to stay where they're at. Len McNeese to the top with the help of Les Levy. Nagels to the middle to block Guerrero. Charles Johnson jumps out of line. Nagels staying in front of Guerrero. Now back to the bottom. Thomas gets hit from behind by Seabrands. He keeps it straight. Trying to come back up on the racetrack is DJ Thomas. He's not going to be able to. He's going to lose a bunch of spots through 3 and 4. The field's fanning out. Trying to make it happen. Charles Johnson with a run to the outside. Osborne to the back of the 6. Trouble behind the leaders. Here comes Vicente Guerrero. Osborne gets turned. Sanchez gets turned. Who's going to make it through? A big wreck in the tri-oval. Vicente Guerrero wins NSRA at Talladega. A 1-2 finish for Limitless as Guerrero and Nagels run 1-2 as they wreck in the tri-oval after a chaotic last lap. And I'll try to get you what I can here of what happened a little further back first. On the white flag, I saw a couple of cars get out of shape. We'll let these guys celebrate first, and then we'll get a look at it. And what a night for Limitless. What a night for Mark Mann. How about Mark Mann in the 0-4? He comes home in 3rd position tonight. Michael Triscaro, after all of that, comes home in position number 4. And Vicente may burn this thing to the ground. What a win it is for him. A topsy-turvy night ends in victory lane. We'll give him a short opportunity to celebrate. Looks like, there he goes. Going to burn it down here. Around his teammates. Wow, what a shot this is. And a great night for Limitless Racing. We'll go through some of that a little bit later on as well. What a win. What a night for that team. We'll get to hear from him in just a quick moment. First, though, we're going to go back and check what happened on that last lap of the race. Really, I thought for a second that we were going to get a yellow for this incident a little further back around Andrew Schroeder. I thought for sure when these guys went sideways, looks like contact with Robert Morrison and Schroeder. Oh, boy, and Schroeder's out of shape. Catches the 43. For sure, when they went sideways, I thought we were going to get a caution. They slid off the racetrack, though. And so we were able to keep it green long enough to get to the white flag. Russ Hancock is involved as well. A bad hit there for Andrew Schroeder off the inside wall. And then, coming to the checkered flag. Oh, Dana Osborne. Yeah, so this was the shuffle that happened. We saw it happen off turn number 4. As Osborne gets contact with Vicente Guerrero, goes down below the line. And as he goes to come back up, he's going to collect Les Levy and others right here. You'll see the contact there between the 62 and the 8. Richard Sanchez, nowhere to go really for him. He gets collected. Charles Johnson, Len McNeese, Adam Kilday all get collected. Mark Mann, the C's part for the 0-4. Look at the 4 of Seabrands. Rodri gets bounced into the air. Oh, wow. all the way off the ground was Harold Rodriguez. Oh, Rick Seabrand's upside down, goes roof first into the outside wall. Gets hit again, cartwheels over top of Alex Giffen, who drives underneath him. DJ Thomas ends up getting through this for, I think, a 7th place finish. There's no way we can't go look at Mark Mann's perspective of this right here. And then we'll get to your top 3 and some finishing results. Here we go. All right. Let's get a look at this from Mark Mann's perspective. Oh! What a moment for Mark Mann there. Gotta think he's feeling good about that. Definitely going to be talking to him about that one. So, what a night it was. And we're going to get your top 3 now. It's been a long race, so we'll go ahead and get that going for your finishing results. Will scroll on the top of the screen. We'll go through it in just a moment. But we will go ahead and get a word with your top 3. Let me just make sure these guys are all ready to go, all ready to be heard from here. And I believe they are. So, all right, with that said, we will start with the first step of your podium. And the man I think I want to talk to the most after this race, and that is Mr. Mark Mann in the 0-4. If I can get him in here. Hey, Mark Mann, it's Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. What's up?
Wow, what a race that was. Certainly a great night for you. I got to ask, first off, how are you feeling after you got through that wreck? We watched your onboard camera. I cannot imagine what was going through your head, so kind of take us through it.
Well, I was kind of hoping when I saw the daylight that I was in first, and then I saw I was in third, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll take that. I didn't expect to make it through that wreck. You know, I used both quick repairs early on in the race. I had to go to backup cars and just kind of ride around the back like I typically do, and then make a move late, usually with a green flag pit stop. But it didn't really work out like that tonight. So on that last green-white checkered, I was way back. And it just so happened, you know, every once in a while the sun shines and Moses parted the seas, and I went through and got a podium. That was pretty much it. That was just a luck.
Well, sometimes it takes luck to get good finishes at this place, and you do just that. It's a 3rd place finish for you. It's a great run. So kind of, you know, take me through what this does for your mindset going forward. It's still early in the season, so, you know, how does this run affect how you're thinking about your own season here after you got some momentum early on?
Well, of course, you want to make it to that Final Four at the end of the season and have a shot at a championship. But even so, you know, there's money on the line here. So, you know, a lot of us guys got a little bit of a pool going on. So you always kind of want to finish in that money. So that's where my mindset is. You know, I'm going to miss a bunch of races. I have some trips coming up. I just kind of want to hang around into the playoffs pretty much, and maybe hopefully get enough starts to be playoff eligible. But I guess we'll see. End of September and October are going to be very busy months for me, so I'll make as many as I can.
Well, that's certainly all you can do. You make the most of the start tonight. You come home 3rd. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, hey man, thanks for broadcasting. It's pretty cool. Got to watch that back. My friend Mara, she's always watching at home, and yeah, I'm looking at these points standing right now. I'm way down there. Oof. Thank all the fans, everybody else who was watching, and Dave and all those guys in the background doing admin stuff and running with Richard Sanchez and Rick Seabrand tonight. That was a lot of fun. Thanks for running with me. And that's it. That's all. That's all she wrote.
All right. Well, it's 3rd place finish. It's a great run for you tonight. Congrats, and we will talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks, bro.
Mark Mann, your 3rd place finisher tonight. Good momentum for him going forward this season. But now we move on to the first of our 2 Limitless teammates that we're going to talk to this evening. The first, the guy you heard from just a little bit ago, Cody Nagels in the 6. We're going to hear from him once again here in just a second. Hey, Cody, it's Dawson up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
What a night for Limitless altogether. It ended up being but kind of, take us through your own race first and how you're feeling after a second place effort.
Yeah. Can you do me a favor real quick and pull Vince up here too? Let's do this.
All right, yeah.
Interview.
Let's do this. Let's do this all at once. Yeah. All righty. Hey, Vince. It's me and Cody up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I sure do.
All right. Well, we'll just talk about this with you guys together. Might as well. What a night for Limitless. You guys go 1-2. You guys pick who talks first and kind of take me through it.
I guess.
Cody likes to talk. He could talk.
I'm only gonna talk first because you beat me fair and square. So I'll leave the best
shit.
for last. But just good communication, man. That's all it really is. We just wanted to make sure that we got lined up when it mattered most, and then if we had a chance to race it out, so be it. And I'm not trying to do anything to, cause my teammates to get wrecked. So I figure the safe bet's to stay on the bottom and just drag race with Vince. Wreck happened, and he beat me to the line. It was a great finish.
Yeah, and talk to me a little bit about that communication. We saw so many times tonight during the race that you guys were able to, it looks like, obviously communicate, get up in front of each other, pick a lineup if you need to go get somebody from that's fallen back a little bit. All 5 of you guys were able to do that a lot tonight. So just kind of take me through, first off, how you develop that communication, and then second off, how effective it can be when it comes to getting up front and staying there.
If I got a teammate, in the middle lane, they kind of let me know if the lane is dying, if somebody goes to the third and they've lost their help, and say the bottom is supported well, then that's my cue to go up and pick them up so they don't lose a bunch of track position. Or say if temps are getting high, then somebody has to cycle down to the bottom to make sure that your teammates don't blow up. But all in all, it's just about trying to race without any selfishness and make sure your teammates are in a position to support you at the end so everyone can get a good finish.
Well, that's exactly what happened for you guys tonight. It's a really great overall team night for Limitless once again. You yourself come home second. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, Dawson, I want to thank you for putting on a good broadcast. I want to thank Dabo and all of the admin with NSRA for putting on a great league. I believe Sean Stevens sponsored this race, so big shout out to Sean for sponsoring and everyone else who sponsors throughout the season. And I want to thank Limitless for running a very strong race tonight and getting 4 drivers inside the top 10.
Yep, that's exactly what you guys did. Second place finisher, Cody Nagels. Congrats on that big effort. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
And that leaves us with only our winner, Mr. Vince. How does it feel, man? I mean, it's got to feel good. That's a great effort out of you tonight after a topsy-turvy night. Just kind of take us through how you're feeling.
Feeling great. I mean, I really appreciate Cody being up here and being a good team sport. I mean, he could have been selfish and he, blocked, and I would have been content pushing. But it feels good. Grabbing the win here. I'm really happy that that Sanchez was pushing me. Actually, he did his job. I don't think he got the finish that he deserved, but he was up here, and I appreciate it. And Sanchez, I do forgive you, and I'm not mad at you.
All right. Well, kind of take us through the first part of your night. It looked like a really topsy-turvy evening for you early on in the race. What was going on? What was going on your end, and how'd you get back to the front there for that last run?
It was only topsy-turvy, whatever you said, because I was drinking my Budweisers, so I had to make a couple pit stops and unload.
All right, short, sweet, and to the point. You come away with a win. Obviously, you deserve a couple more of those Budweisers after that one. So anybody you want to thank or shout out for that one?
Yeah, my whole teammates, Cody, Dawson, Michael, DJ, and Robert. It was fun racing with them all on Discord. I want to thank them. I want to thank you guys for broadcasting and, NSRA. Yep.
All right. Well, congrats on that big victory, and we will see you next week.
Thanks.
That's your top 3 tonight, ladies and gentlemen. In the finishing order, Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, Mark Mann. What an effort it was out of them. We'll go through some more of your finishing results here just briefly while we do have you here. And we will get an idea of who finished where tonight after that topsy-turvy last lap. Obviously, we have our top 3 already, so we'll go back a little bit further from them. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. There she goes. Just took her a minute. So we got our top 3 already. Coming in 4th, Michael Triscaro. You want to talk about a roller coaster? Michael Triscaro had a roller coaster night, and he ends up with a 4th place finish. Drives through that wreck on the last lap. He's got to be happy about that one. Coming in 5th tonight is John Guerra in the 88. What a run for John Guerra tonight. Another great run for Len McNeese in 6th. That's back-to-back top 10s for Mr. McNeese. So great run for him. Alex Giffen comes home in 7th. DJ Thomas in 8th. Bubba Whittingham in 9th. And Richard Sanchez comes home 10th. He was 4th at the white flag. Comes home in position number 10. Dean Wilkinson recovers to finish 11th tonight. Robert Morrison in 12th. Adam Kilday 13th. Jorge Rincon in 14th. And Les Levy rounding out your top 15. Moving down a little bit further. Dana Osborne rolls from 16th tonight. Dusty Burkhart in 17th. Larry Dickerson in 18th. Russ Hancock in 19th. And Robert Jordan, the last Limitless cars, in 20th. Stephen McComas finishes in 21st. Charles Johnson, what a night it was for him. He finishes 22nd. Andrew Schroeder in 23rd. Rick Seabrands in 24th. And Harold Rothery finishes in 25th. Sean Stevens, thanks again for sponsoring this race. He finishes 26th. Donald Sadusky, one of the tougher breaks of the evening, he finishes 27th. David Overstreet finishes 28th. Chad French finishes 29th. And Jimmy Reynolds rounds out your field. Well, everybody take a breath. What a race that was. NSRA, once again, another great event tonight. Vicente Guerrero with a massive win, a 1-2 finish for Limitless Racing. And that was another great week. We're 3 races in. We got 3 different winners. It's going to be a roller coaster of a season. Keep tuning in here on the Ghost Racing Network for NSRA. I've enjoyed it tonight. What a great double feature we had. Jimmy Crow earlier, NSRA now. What a great night it has been. Make sure to be back here on the Ghost Racing Network starting again tomorrow. I believe Austin's going to be back starting tomorrow. And I cannot wait to be back in the booth with him on Tuesday for Ron Morse Racing. Tuesday Night Thunder's double points night from Talladega. What an evening that's going to be on the high banks of Talladega as we crown a regular season champion over there in Ron Morris Racing. I appreciate everybody for coming out, being in the chat, being loud. Love everybody for showing their support for these drivers, and these drivers definitely appreciate it as well. My name is Dawson Wise. I've had a great time. Until next